Friends, you have all assembled here this evening to understand what is being taught in this center. There is no mysticism involved. There is no sectarian cult involved. This technique has nothing to do with organized religions. It is not to convert people from one organized religion to another organized religion. This is pure science, applied science. This is a process of exploration of truth. And truth can never be sectarian. Truth is always universal. The process of exploring the truth pertaining to oneself, within oneself, by oneself. No dogma is involved. No blind faith is involved. You just accept what you experience yourself. The truth, which is universal. The truth pertaining to mind and matter. The word Vipassana means to observe. Observe the truth. Truth as it is. Not as your religion says so, not as your belief says so, not because you would like it to be so, as it is. The truth of the law, the truth of the nature, the truth of the law of nature universal. This truth is there throughout the world, throughout the universe. But the truth outside, you can only intellectualize it. And this technique wants you to experience the truth. The truth can be experienced only within the framework of your own body. The truth that you experience within your body is the same truth which is there throughout the universe, applicable to one and all. And the entire process of exploring the truth of the interaction of mind and matter, starting from very gross reality, apparent reality, moving down to the subtler realities, the subtlest reality pertaining to matter, the subtlest reality pertaining to mind, the subtlest reality pertaining to mental contents. When one has explored the entire field of mind and matter, then only one transcends the field of mind and matter and experiences something which is beyond, which cannot be explained in words. Again, it has to be experienced. And the entire process of exploring this truth is a process which starts purifying the mind, which starts eradicating the pollution. Pollution is so dangerous. One is material pollution, which spoils the entire atmosphere around us, makes the atmosphere very unhealthy, unwholesome. But then there is a mental pollution, which harms the atmosphere much more, which harms us much more. This mental pollution starts from the depth of each individual and starts harming the person who is generating this pollution. And then this pollution starts permeating in the atmosphere around. It starts oozing out of every pore of the body, makes the entire atmosphere, entire space around polluted, unhealthy. The society becomes miserable, unhealthy, unhappy. Deep inside, an individual becomes miserable, unhealthy, unhappy. And outside, the entire human society, and not only human society, all living beings become miserable. This pollution is so subtle and yet so powerful, so dangerous. This technique helps us to understand this pollution and understand how to eradicate this pollution and create a healthy atmosphere within the framework of the individual's body and then the atmosphere around. This is pure science, nothing to do with any cult. An enlightened person discovers this science and makes use of this truth to purify himself, to enlighten himself, to liberate himself from misery. And then out of compassion, he starts distributing this truth, this technique to realize the truth, so that others can come out of their misery in the same way. An enlightened person is not interested in establishing a cult, a religion, a sect, a dogma that doesn't help anybody. The truth, which has to be experienced by one and all. In the material world, we find a scientist discovers a truth, and if we find it logical, pragmatic, scientific, we accept it. This does not mean that we have converted ourselves from one religion to another religion. A Galileo discovers that the world is not flat, it is round, like an orange. It is not stationary. It keeps on rotating on its axis. Many didn't accept it, some accepted, and slowly many started accepting it. This does not mean that they converted themselves from one religion to another religion. The theory of gravity. And Newton discovered a theory of gravity. When people accepted it, this does not mean that they converted themselves from one religion to another religion. They made use of it. And Einstein discovered the theory of relativity. We accepted it. This does not mean that we got ourselves converted from one religion to another religion, from one cult to another cult, from one dogma to another dogma. Nothing doing. Science is science. Similarly, someone 25 centuries back explored the truth. He wanted to know why people are miserable. The apparent cause was there, of course, but there must be some deeper cause. Why there is misery all around? Is there a deep-rooted cause of the misery? And if so, is there a way to come out of that misery, to eradicate the cause of the misery? He investigated, not merely at the intellectual level, not just by reading scriptures as a scientist, in the laboratory within the framework of the body. The apparent cause of the misery seems to be outside, but the misery actually is inside. Somebody has abused me. Somebody has insulted me, and I feel miserable. Somebody is abused outside. Some outsider has insulted me. That truth is outside. But the misery that is generated within me is inside. There must also be some other cause of misery. If the origin of misery is inside, the cause also must be inside. Let me investigate. And this is what he did. And this is what is called Vipassana. Observe the truth of misery. Misery is there, rich or poor, educated or uneducated, man or woman, makes no difference. One external cause or the other. Misery is there. But what about the truth inside? This process of realizing the truth inside is so scientific, anyone and everyone can explore the truth inside. And as one starts exploring the truth inside at the experiential level, it becomes so clear. I have generated pollution within myself. Because of that, I have become miserable. And I don't keep this pollution within myself. I have started throwing this pollution around me. The entire atmosphere around me has become polluted. Everybody who comes in contact with me, with this atmosphere, becomes miserable. This becomes so clear. Something has happened outside. Yes, true. Somebody is abused. Somebody is insulted. What has started happening in me? As a result of that, what has started happening in me? I started generating some negativity, anger, hatred, ill will, animosity. And I have started polluting my mind. This is the mental defilement. I generate anger. I can never experience peace. I can never experience harmony. In negativity and peace cannot coexist. In negativity and harmony cannot coexist. When there is a negativity, peace is gone, harmony is gone. The cause of my agitation, my misery, is this pollution which I have started generating within me. Anything may happen outside. I don't generate pollution. I'm a happy person. I'm a peaceful person. I'm a harmonious person. Then I generate only harmony, vibration of harmony, vibration of peace. And this vibration of peace and harmony starts oozing out from every pore of my body, starts getting permeated in the atmosphere. People who come in contact with that feel more peaceful. That is why it is called art of living. How to live peacefully and harmoniously within, and how to generate nothing but peace and harmony for the atmosphere around, so that others can also live in a peaceful atmosphere, so that others can also enjoy peace and harmony in life. Unless the individual starts experiencing peace and harmony, we cannot expect the society to experience peace and harmony. After all, society is nothing but individuals. So a training has to be given to each individual how to live peacefully, how to live harmoniously, how to live a wholesome, healthy life, inside, outside, for which proper training is necessary. We have schools, we have colleges, we have universities, where proper education is given for proper subject, different subject, maybe engineer, maybe medicine, maybe this, maybe that. Similarly, this is an institute, a school, a university. of learning the truth about one's own self, not merely by such sermons or discourses, but by experience. What is this physical structure to which one keeps on saying I, mine? So much identification with this physical structure and so much of attachment towards this physical structure. I. At the intellectual level, at the philosophical level, at the level of certain religious belief, one may say, oh, this body is not I. Body is not mine. Body is not my soul. But that is just a belief. When you start moving inside to explore the truth pertaining to the body, the first reality which will become very clear is that for all practical purposes, this body has become I. At the intellectual level, at the level of belief, devotional level, one may say body is not I, but at the actual level, body is I, body is mine. So much identification with the body, tremendous amount of attachment towards the body. Similarly, the mind, the mental structure. What is this mental structure? When we read books on psychology, it doesn't help. When we keep on saying that this mind is not I, not mine, not my soul, again, mere beliefs. When you go deep inside, you find, for all practical purposes, this mind has become I. Mind has become mine. So much identification with this mind. And so much attachment towards this mind. Mind, matter, combination of these two. This has become I. This has become mine. An imaginary I. And tremendous amount of attachment towards this I. Someone says one word against this I, and one feels so irritated, so agitated, so miserable. Someone does one little thing against this I, and one feels so irritated, so agitated, so miserable. This is universal truth. One may keep on calling oneself a Hindu, or a Muslim, or a Christian, or a Jewish, or a Sikh, or a Parsi. Makes no difference. One may call oneself a Indian, or a Burmese, or a American, or a Russian, or a Chinese. Makes no difference. One may be white, or black, or brown, or blue. Makes no difference. When you generate attachment towards this ego, and you react with aversion, hatred, ill will, animosity, you are bound to become miserable. Nature does not discriminate. The law of nature is law of nature. It is not that I pollute my mind now and I will get the result of it after death. Who knows what happens after death? All right, after death also you will get a very unpleasant result. Now, the nature won't wait for that much. The moment I break the law of nature, that means the moment I pollute my mind, I generate any negativity in the mind, the nature starts punishing me then and there. One will not have to wait for some time. As soon as I generate anger or hatred or ill will or passion or ego or fear, any kind of impurity of the mind, any kind of defilement of the mind, nature starts punishing me. I become miserable. Nature does not see whether I call myself a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Christian, does not see that. Whether I have this color or that color, nature doesn't see that. Whether I am a man or a woman, nature doesn't see that. The law is law. If you break the law, you are punished. Then and there, instantly. If I keep my mind free from this pollution, free from the negativities, if I keep my mind pure, then by nature, a pure mind is always full of love, infinite love, is always full of compassion, infinite compassion, is always full of joy, sympathetic joy. Infinite sympathetic joy is always full of equanimity, infinite equanimity. These are the four basic characteristics of a pure mind. And when you have a mind pure with these qualities, nature starts rewarding you. Then and there, not after death, then and there. Any moment when my mind is pure, full of love, compassion, goodwill, I start experiencing so much of peace, so much of harmony. When I generate negativity, when I generate anger and abuse somebody, I have harmed that somebody later, but I harmed myself first. I am the first victim of my own negativity. Nature started punishing me. Similarly, when I purify my mind and I generate love and compassion and goodwill, I get the reward of it. Others will get later on. My peace and harmony is going to help others also, but I will be the first person to get this reward. This is law of nature. And this is what an enlightened person realizes and then teaches others. Not merely as sermons, not for any intellectual entertainment, not for any kind of devotional beliefs, but makes people realize it. And this is the technique which helps people to realize the truth. People come here, they have to cut themselves off from the outside world for 10 days. It looks quite odd. Why? Why I should cut myself off from the outside world? Why can't I learn this technique living at home, doing my daily work? Yes, sounds reasonable, but then it is not workable. Otherwise, there is no sense in keeping people in this prison for 10 days. You can't go out, you can't meet people, you can't read papers, you can't have television, you can't do this, you don't do this. What's this? There is some reason behind this. From the birth, the time one opens one's eyes, extrovert, 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 giving all importance to the realities outside. One has never tried to explore the truth inside. One has to train the mind how to explore things inside. And you keep indulged every moment with things outside, it is difficult to train the mind to see inside. So for 10 days, just for 10 days, you go to your hospital to gain your health, not to live in the hospital whole life. You gain your health and make use of it outside. So you come here and learn this technique for 10 days, and then you make use of it in your day-to-day life. But for 10 days, it is essential just to train the mind how to change the direction. All the time the direction was outside, this object, that object, an object of a shape, a form, a color, a light, an object of a sound, object of a smell, object of a taste, object of something tangible, object of a thought, everything outside, outside, outside. Now direct the mind to explore the truth inside. This physical structure. What is this I? Physical structure. This mental structure. The combination of the two. The interaction of the two. So one has to come for 10 days. And what one is asked to do? Very simple. You just sit down. Just sit down. Not in this posture or that posture. No physical exercise. This is not a physical torture. You sit down comfortably. Keep your back straight, your neck straight. Keep your eyes closed. Because you have to see things inside. Keeping the eyes open, the mind will again go outside. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your mouth closed. And then see what is happening in this physical structure. Every step that you take on the path is a step of your own experience. You are not supposed to accept what the teacher says. Don't accept. That won't help you. Just accept whatever you are experiencing. The truth is truth for you when you experience it. The truth that was experienced by some Gautama the Buddha was a truth for Gautama the Buddha. A truth experienced by Jesus Christ was a truth for Jesus Christ, not for you, not for me. As we experience the truth, from very gross, apparent truth, we move towards subtler, 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 subtler truth from moment to moment. That moment what we are experiencing, a particular truth, gross or subtle, is the real truth for us. So the truth pertaining to ourselves. One is sitting quietly, there is no vocal action, there is no physical action. Now what is happening? The first truth, which will become very clear, is this flow of respiration, the breath coming in, the breath going out. Just start from that. You are observing the breath coming in, the breath going out. Breath is breath. You can't say this breath is a Hindu breath, or a Muslim breath, or a Christian breath, or a Jewish breath, or an American breath, or an Indian breath, or a Burmese breath, or a Russian breath, a white breath, or a black breath. Breath is breath, human breath. This is the truth, truth pertaining to everybody, and truth pertaining to me. I can experience it. The breath coming in, the breath going out. Not a breathing exercise. You're not supposed to regulate your breath. There's another technique which is called pranayama, where you discipline your breath. Well, it has got its own advantage. We are not here to condemn other techniques. It has its own advantage. But so far as this technique is concerned, we are not supposed to regulate our breath. Natural breath. You have to accept the natural truth as it is from moment to moment, from moment to moment. If it's a deep breath, you're just aware. It is a deep breath. That's all. Don't try to shorten it. If it's a short breath, shallow breath, you're just aware. Shallow breath. Don't try to deepen it. Shallow breath is shallow breath. Deep breath is deep breath. The breath passes through the left nostril. Yes, passes through the left nostril. Don't try to change it to right nostril. It passes through the left nostril. If it passes through the right nostril, you are just aware it passes through the right nostril. If it passes through both the nostrils, you are aware it is passing through both the nostrils. The reality as it is. Never interfere with the flow of the respiration, which is natural. Just observe. Just observe. You are supposed to keep your attention at the entrance of the nostrils, the breath coming in, the breath going out. So simple. So simple. You are here, you are doing nothing. Things are happening naturally. The breath is coming naturally, the breath is going out naturally, and you are just supposed to be aware of it. So simple, and yet so difficult. When you will come, some of you have come, and others will come. When you come, and you find such an easy job, you do nothing. The flow of river is there, and you are sitting at the bank of the river. You are just observing the flow of the river. What difficulty in this? What difficulty in observing the flow of the respiration? And what you will notice, you observe just one breath or two breaths, and gone, your mind is gone somewhere. You don't know where. Only after a few minutes you realize, oh, I was here to observe my respiration. What happened? And again you bring it to the respiration. Again, one or two breaths, again gone. And you start feeling irritated. What sort of mind I am carrying? It cannot just observe the respiration, such an easy task. And your guide will say, oh, no irritation. That is your old habit pattern to react to things which you don't like. Your mind has wandered and you don't like it, so you're reacting with anger. No, anger towards others outside or anger towards yourself makes no difference. Anger is anger. It is danger. It is harmful. It makes you agitated. Just accept the fact. At this moment, mind has wandered away. Just smile. Just accept the fact the mind has wandered away. And again start. After some time, you again realize it has wandered away. Again start. And like this, you keep on working 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and you find your mind gets calm down a little, calm down, calm down, calm down. When the mind is more calm, more peaceful, more subtle, it becomes more sensitive. A very gross mind can feel only gross objects, gross realities. A subtle mind can feel subtler realities. By the time you reach the 3rd day or so, you start feeling some more realities in this area. You have been keeping your attention on this small area, the entrance of the nostrils. You find that there is some biochemical reaction going on here, some electromagnetic reaction going on here, which is there throughout the body. On every little particle of the body, some biochemical reaction, some electromagnetic reaction is taking place every moment. Mind is so gross. It is not accustomed to feeling. Now with the 2 days, 3 days training, you made the mind calm down and feel this reality. There are some sensations here. Maybe heat, maybe perspiration, maybe cold, maybe throbbing, maybe pulsing, maybe vibrating, maybe tingling, maybe heaviness, maybe numbness. Something or the other is happening here, which is happening throughout the body. By the time you reach the 4th day or the 5th day, you find, yes, such bodily sensations are there throughout the body. And you keep moving your attention from head to feet and feet to head, just observing those sensations objectively. At the face of it, it will look very meaningless. What am I doing here? Observing my respiration? Or even if I had not observed, it was there all the time. What I gain by observing the respiration? And this heat and cold and perspiration and throbbing and pulsing, what meaning of observing all that? But as you proceed, it will become clearer and clearer. The breath is not merely a physical function of the body. The breath has got so much to do with your mind. And you are working to find out where the mind starts generating pollution, defilements, impurities. You have to go to the depth of the mind where these impurities arise. Anger, hatred, ill will, passion, fear, all those things, how they arise, where they arise. Breath helps you to go to that depth. Because the breath is strongly related to the mind and very strongly related to the mental impurities, the mental pollutions. As you practice, it becomes clearer and clearer that, look, whenever I generate any negativity in the mind, the breath loses its normality. It does not remain normal. It becomes fast, little hard. And when that particular impurity has gone away, again it becomes normal. Oh, so it is strongly connected to the mental impurities. Similarly, these body sensations, the heat, the perspiration, the throbbing, the tension, etc., they are not just merely physical truths. They have got so much to do with the mind. And they have got so much to do with the mental defilements, the anger, hatred, passion, fear. You generate any impurity in the mind, and there is bound to be a sensation on the body, this type or that type. This reality will become clearer and clearer and clearer as you proceed further. Maybe in 10 days, maybe in 2 10-day courses, it all depends from individual to individual. Initially, one starts observing very gross, solidified, intensified realities pertaining to the physical and the mental structure. Like you may experience some pain somewhere, some heaviness, some heat, all solidified, intense. You don't react. You are trained, you try to train your mind not to react. Just accept the reality as it is and observe it objectively and see how long it lasts. However solidified a sensation may be, it does not last forever. It is not eternal. Sooner or later it passes away. And as you keep your mind more and more equanimous, balanced, just observing objectively, without identifying yourself with this physical structure or mental structure, objectively, again the mind becomes subtler and subtler and subtler and starts experiencing subtler realities. So these very gross, solidified realities of pain, pressure, heaviness, heat, etc., they start getting dissolved. And as I said, quite a few students within 1 10-day course, some in 2 10 days or 3 10 days course, they reach the stage where they experience that at the apparent level, the entire physical structure is so solid, but at the actual level, at the deeper level, it is nothing but vibrations. All solidity gets dissolved, and this is no imagination. If it is imagination, then it is not truth, then it is not Vipassana. Then you are involving yourself in some belief, because Buddha said so, so you must believe it is so. Because so-and-so said so, a scripture says so, a tradition says so, so we must believe. Nothing doing. Don't believe unless you have experienced yourself. And the experience comes. This is not a monopoly of a particular sect. This comes to one and all. Whoever practices, sooner or later, the solidity gets dissolved. The entire structure is just mass of vibrations, mass of subatomic particles arising, passing, with such great rapidity, arising, passing, all vibrations, vibrations, vibrations. The eyes, vibration, vibration. The ears, vibration, vibration. The nose, vibration, vibration. The tongue, vibration, vibration. The body skin, vibration, vibration. The mind, vibration, vibration. These are the only 6 doors, sense doors, through which you have contact with the outside world. There is no 7th door. Outside world is outside world for you only when it comes in contact with one or the other of these sense doors. Somebody who is blind from birth. For this person, there is no world of light, there is no world of color, there is no world of shape. He is blind from birth. Someone who is blind from the ear, is deaf from ear. There is no world of sound for this person. So these realities outside, they exist only when they come in contact with your sense doors. Right. A shape, a form, a color, a light has come in contact with the eye sense door. A sound has come in contact with the ear sense door. As you go deeper and deeper on this path, not just in 10 days, as you proceed further, it's a long path. In 10 days, you get an art, a technique, how to take steps on the path, how to explore the realities within you, how to explore the truth of the nature throughout the universe. You will reach the stage where you will notice a sound has come in contact with the ear. You are at the ear sense door and you find it is nothing but vibration, vibration. The sound that has come in contact is nothing but vibration, vibration of different wavelength, but has come in contact with the ear sense door. The contact of the two is like striking the gong. You strike the gong and a new vibration starts in that gong. And that vibration is not limited only to the spot where you struck the gong. The entire gong starts vibrating. Sound has come in contact with the ear and the entire body starts vibrating with a particular vibration. Vibration, coming in contact with vibration, generating a particular type of vibration. This is the ultimate truth. At the apparent level, this is my ear. At the apparent level, this is the sound. But at the ultimate level, at the deeper, subtler level, this is vibration. That vibration has come in contact. What happens now? One makes analytical study of this mind and matter, the interaction of the two, how one keeps on influencing the other, how one keeps on getting influenced by the other, and how every reaction becomes a source of misery for us. All that becomes very clear. And that very clear at the experiential level. Now a sound has come in contact with the ear. One part of the mind will raise its head. Hey, what has happened? Something has happened at one of the sense door. Something has happened at the ear sense door. Or something has happened at the eye sense door, or nose sense door, or tongue sense door, or body sense door, or mind sense door. Something has happened. This is the job of the first part of the mind. Consciousness, cognizing. This is its job. Cognizing. Something has happened. Immediately, another part of the mind will raise its head. It starts recognizing. Something has come in contact with the ear. Some sound. What sound? With all the memory of the past, with all the experience of the past, one recognizes sound. Oh, this sound is sound of abuse. Sound, this sound is sound of praise. It has done another job. Another part of the mind has done its job, recognizes. Not only recognizes, it gives evaluation. Sound of abuse, very bad. Sound of praise, wonderful. They were mere vibrations, nothing else. And look how the mind has started playing games. This is sound of abuse, very bad. This is sound of praise, wonderful. Now what happened? When the sound came in contact with the ear, a new vibration started in the whole body, and that was a neutral vibration. But the moment the second part of the mind says, this is abuse, and abuse is very bad, a good Vipassana meditator notices that this very flow of vibration, which was neutral, turns into very unpleasant vibration. The abuse, very bad. and the vibration, very unpleasant. Third part of the mind starts feeling this vibration, pleasant, unpleasant. If the valuation is given, wonderful, praise, this praise is so good, these very vibrations will become very pleasant, a flow of very pleasant vibration. Third part of the mind has started working, feeling sensations on the body, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And then the fourth part, the most dangerous part of the mind starts working. It starts reacting. Sound of abuse, very unpleasant vibration. And it reacts, I don't like it. Abuse to me, such a big Vipassana meditator and a teacher of Vipassana meditator, somebody abusing, oh, I don't like it, stop abusing. I don't like it, stop abusing. A reaction of aversion, hatred. Words of praise, words are words, mere vibration. But because the second part of the mind has said, very good, and it has turned into a very pleasant sensation, this fourth part says, very good, wonderful. I want more praise. I want more praise. Oh, as a Vipassana teacher, I am very equanimous, and yet I want more praise. I want more praise. This mad part of the mind, the fourth part of the mind starts reacting. The whole process of misery starts here. A sound of abuse has come, unpleasant sensation, and you reacted with anger. When you react with anger, this mind and matter phenomena process starts. There is a flow of chemicals, some biochemical, very unpleasant biochemical will start flowing with the stream of the blood, maybe glandular, maybe non-glandular, but there is, in the language of India of those days, it was called ashrava, a flow starts. This flow is very unpleasant because it starts with anger, naturally, it's very unpleasant. When this flow is unpleasant, you become more angry. At the apparent level, it looks that you are angry because of the abuse. But at the actual level, you are angry because you started feeling very unpleasant sensation on the body, and which you keep on multiplying. Every time, every moment you generate anger, this unpleasant sensation becomes stronger, this biochemical flow becomes stronger, it becomes stronger, you generate more anger, it becomes stronger, and a vicious circle starts. Somebody has abused you only once, to make you unhappy only once, but look what happens. He is abused and gone away. But you keep on keeping yourself unhappy for hours together, sometimes days together. Oh, so-and-so abused me like this. I cannot forget for the whole life. All right, you don't forget for the whole life. You keep on burning in this anger. You keep on burning in this hellfire. Whom are you obliging? You are harming yourself. One does not realize that. How I am harming myself. I keep on harming myself all the time. Now with this technique, it becomes so clear. So clear. Any impurity of the mind, you pollute the mind in any way. Maybe anger, maybe passion, maybe fear, anything, and a particular type of biochemical flow starts flowing in the body. And because of that, you again generate the same type of impurity, and that biochemical reaction becomes stronger. And the biochemical reaction and your mental reaction, the biochemical reaction and your mental reaction supporting each other, and you become more and more miserable, more and more miserable. And when you become miserable, you are not able to keep your misery limited to yourself. When you are angry, you throw your anger on the whole atmosphere around you. You make the entire atmosphere around you so tense, so tense. Anyone comes in contact with you at that time, bound to become miserable. This is what one keeps on doing the whole life, making oneself miserable, making others miserable, making oneself miserable, making others miserable. One does not know how to live. The whole process is to learn a technique, an art, how to live. After all, we have to live in the society. We have to live in our family members. We have to live with others. How to live peacefully, harmoniously within, and how to generate peace and harmony for the atmosphere so that others also can live in peace and harmony. What cult about it? What religion about it? What sect about it? What dogma about it? This is pure science. Science of mind and matter. The interaction of mind and matter. If we don't understand it, we may understand it at the intellectual level, and yet we cannot come out of this behavior pattern. However one understands at the intellectual level, however one one may read books on this, and one may discuss all of, at the intellectual level by these discourses and arguments and this and that. But unless you experience, you won't know what is happening. And when you experience, and then you change the habit pattern of the mind at the deepest level of your mind. Understand the reality is that the deepest level of your mind is in constant touch with these body sensations, day and night. Whether you are awakened or asleep, all the time you are unconscious, so-called unconscious. It is not unconscious. The so-called unconscious mind is constantly in contact with body sensations, and it keeps on reacting to body sensations. That part of the mind is so blind. At the intellectual level, you know, I should not react with anger. I should not react with passion. All those understanding is there at the intellectual mind, at the surface level of the mind, the so-called conscious mind. But the deeper half-conscious mind, unconscious mind, does not listen to the words of intellect, does not understand the words of intellect. It's a prisoner of its own behavior pattern. And its behavior pattern is to react to these sensations. If it is pleasant, react with craving and clinging. If it is unpleasant, react with aversion and hatred. That has become the habit pattern of this mind. And unless you change this habit pattern, you have not made the roots of your mind healthy. And if the roots of the mind are not healthy, the whole tree of the mind can never be healthy. You can't get good fruits out of it. The whole technique takes you to the root of your disease, the root of your own mind, the so-called unconscious mind. The barrier between the conscious and unconscious mind is broken. As you start practicing with gross sensations, you go deeper, 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 subtler sensations throughout the body, the reality, subtler reality, finer reality, you are with it, and you keep on noticing how a reaction is going on. A particular sensation, the mind doesn't like it, it reacts. A particular sensation, mind likes it, it reacts. And you are training the mind not to react. Just observe. Observe objectively. Not that in 10 days you will become so perfect that you will come out of all these defilements, you will come out of all these reactions which make you unhappy, but you get a way, a technique, a path, how to come out of this mad behavior pattern which keeps me unhappy all the time. You feel the sensations? One important part of this technique. You must develop your mind to feel the sensations on the body. And the second part of the technique, how not to react to these sensations and observe them. Observe them objectively. And you find that it starts helping you in your day-to-day life. Something has happened outside, a sensation has started, and you observe the sensation even for a few moments, and you don't react. You don't react, you are a happy person. You take action. The life will be free from blind reaction, but the life will be full of action. This technique will not make you inactive. The life of reaction is always life of negativity. It makes you unhappy, it makes others unhappy. But the life of action is always positive. It keeps you happy and it will make others also happy. And this is what is art of living. This technique is nothing but art of living. One and all must learn this technique to live a good life, to live a healthy life. Don't get frightened by coming to this closed organization. Some mysticism or some cult or some dogma or some religion will be imposed on us. Nothing doing. A Christian will remain Christian the whole life, will become a good Christian. A Muslim will remain Muslim the whole life, will become a good Muslim. A Hindu, a good Hindu. A Buddhist, a good Buddhist. After all, unless somebody is a good person, how can he or she be a good Christian or a good Hindu or a good Muslim? The whole technique is to make an individual a good person. This is what it wants. This is what the technique leads to. Live a good life, a healthy life, a wholesome life, peaceful life, harmonious life, good for you and good for others. Residents of this area, I would like you to give a trial. Give 10 days of your life, not to oblige anybody, but this is a science of mind and matter. Explore the truth of the mind and matter and see where one makes mistakes and feels miserable because of those mistakes. And give a trial, a fair trial, give full justice. Just for 10 days you have to work as you are asked to work. But accept whatever you are experiencing yourself. After 10 days you are your own master. There is no gurudom involved in it. There is no exploitation involved in it. You are never asked to be under the clutches of a particular guru. Guru will say, I will liberate you, I will do this. Nothing doing. You have to liberate yourself. Nobody else can liberate you. You have to come out of your misery yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. Somebody can just show the path. I walked on the path a few steps ahead, so I can say, all right, walk on this path. This has benefited me. This will benefit you. Give it a trial. Give it a trial. I plead, all of you, give it a trial and see how this scientific universal technique is helpful to the individual and thus is helpful to the society. May all of you come out of your misery and enjoy real peace, real harmony, real happiness, real happiness.
Just a reminder, if you have any questions, please jot them down on the sheets of paper that were handed out and pass them to the outside aisle and they'll be picked up and we'll try to get to as many of them as possible.
Instead of people going around, why not some workers go around and take from them? Ah, good. Bring.
Here you go.
Give. Yeah, very good. Very good. In your discourses, you mentioned that a good meditator never dies unconscious. Can you elaborate? When I die, I will tell you how I died. But people have died. Vipassana meditators also die. They don't become immortal. When they die, people around them, they see how peacefully one has died, how consciously one has died, without any fear, without any agitation, without any unhappiness. And this has been the case of hundreds of people. We get news from our meditators, and this is how we say that no Vipassana meditator, a good Vipassana meditator, can die in agony, cannot die. There's a promotion. Why agony? One will feel very happy. There's no demotion. How should we live our lives? This is what is being taught here. How to live a life, a good life. However you understand that I must live a good life, free from anger, free from hatred, free from negativity, and yet you find that you get overpowered by these emotions every now and then, because you can't go to the depth of their origin from where they start. With this technique, you will go to the depth, and as they start, you can come out of it. As they start, you can come out of it. This is how you will change the habit pattern of your mind. Does the attainment of an equanimous mind inhibit the creative passions that inspired great people like Shakespeare, Beethoven, etc.? No. It does not interfere with your qualities. A poet will become a better poet, a writer will become a better writer, an artist will become a better artist, but all the product of this person will be positive. One cannot produce a poem or art or anything which will harm others. When the mind is pure, then the product will be wonderful. It will be so helpful to the others, and it will not take you away from the art. In all this heat, I become very sleepy when I meditate. Have heart breathings. Whenever you find you're getting sleepy, heart breathing will help you. Could you talk about drowsiness and what can be done or not done? Heart breathing. And still, if you feel very drowsy, get up and walk a little. Even while walking, you are aware of your respiration. Come and sit down again. This will help you. What is the difference between Vipassana and psychotherapy? Vipassana is the highest psychotherapy. All other psychotherapists, we don't condemn others, but the fact remains that they are just working at the surface of the mind, and Vipassana takes you to the depth of the mind. And therapy is made at the root level. If a student of Vipassana is also involved in Hatha Yoga, which practices are best and which practices should be avoided? Hatha Yoga is a wonderful practice to keep your body healthy. Nothing wrong to do Hatha Yoga like pranayam, like asanas. But moment you use any kind of meditation practice of these Hatha Yoga people, then it will go against Vipassana. Because there verbalization will be involved, visualization will be involved, imagination will be involved, which is totally against Vipassana. Vipassana does not allow you to have any kind of verbalization, visualization, imagination, self-hypnotism, suggestions. All those are not acceptable. Reality as it comes up naturally from moment to moment, from moment to moment, that is Vipassana. Good. How can you live a good life if you are homeless, no food, no clothes? Yes, Vipassana will help you to come out of the poverty also. In India, quite a large number of people come from very poor class. They don't have meals for 2 times. The teaching of Vipassana for 10 days, they are comfortable, they get proper meals, they get proper home, proper place. And then when they learn this technique, they go out, and with a balanced mind, they can work much better. In the material world also, when the mind is unbalanced, you can't get good results. And people get much better results after they start practicing Vipassana. And many of these poor people in India I have seen, they become addicted, although they are so poor, and yet they become addicted to gambling, they become addicted to alcohol. And with the practice of Vipassana, just 1 or 2 courses, easily they come out of their addiction. So much of their earning, which is already very less, goes to these alcohol and gambling and all that. Now they use it for the family, for the upkeep of themselves and their family. So it is helpful in the worldly way. I am thin, and I am worried about not taking proper food, meat, dairy food, when doing Vipassana. The Vipassana teacher is so thick, so fat, why worry? Vipassana won't make you thinner. It is really the technique of Gautama, or she is invented after his enlightenment by others. No. Technique of Gautama, who became Buddha. The word Buddha means enlightened. He became enlightened by practicing this. This technique is a very ancient technique of India. Even before Buddha, centuries before Buddha, there were many Buddhas. Gautama was not the only Buddha. Before him, there were so many other enlightened persons, and he says, after me also, there will be so many enlightened persons. To become enlightened is not monopoly of only Gautama. So this technique was there, but got lost. People only kept on talking about it, but the practice was lost. And this person, he somehow discovered this technique, made use of it, and became enlightened. That is why Gautama became the Buddha, the enlightened person. And then out of this purity of the mind, because of enlightenment, because of this technique, he purified the mind, and full of love and compassion, he started distributing it to others. What is the deepest level of the mind? No words can explain that. You have to experience yourself, and this technique will take you to the deepest level of the mind, and even beyond that. What do you look at the truth? How do you look at the truth objectively? Objectively, that means no I is involved, no mind is involved, as it is. If there is pain, as it is, not my pain. If it is my pain, I want to get rid of it. I try to push it out. The more I try to push it out, more it sticks, and you can't come out of it. You observe, and you find slowly it passes away. It has been said that the ultimate function of prolonged meditation is to fatigue the mind, so that in silence our natural state of being, of enlightenment, might spontaneously arise, and that it is only after enlightenment that the real richness of meditation may be of service. Enlightenment is progressive. The moment you started observing your respiration, first step of enlightenment has started. You are enlightened about the truth that the breath is coming in, breath is going out, not my breath. Breath is breath. Not an Indian breath, not an American breath, not a Hindu breath, not a Muslim breath. This is law of nature. A live being breathes in, breathes out. That's all. So enlightenment at every step. Of course, the ultimate enlightenment will take you beyond mind and matter, and that will be helpful in your daily life. But whatever steps you take, they also start helping you in your daily life. Nothing goes waste on the path. Could you please explain your interpretation of how a new soul is born? Well, this is the question of dogma and belief. First, we believe that there is a soul. And then you believe what kind of soul, what's the size of this soul, what's the shape of this soul. And then you believe who created this soul. And then you believe who created this creator. and with what raw materials and what implement, that is all the job of the philosophers. Leave them aside. We are Vipassana meditators. We accept the reality of this moment. Aren't you encouraging a dualistic, split sense of self by working people to observe their sensations, etc.? Like mind is self, while sensations are others? No. The duality is now. The conscious mind, the unconscious mind, as if there are two different things. The conscious mind says no aversion, no anger, no hatred, yet the conscious mind keeps on generating anger. This duality is there. This duality will go away. No anger, no hatred, purity of the mind will be in the entire mental structure. There won't be duality. Is meditation more on the mind part or on the breath part? It starts with the breath. It takes you to the mind and takes you to the deepest level of the mind and even beyond that. Would you talk about enlightenment? What changes when one experiences this? How have your own feelings and other perceptions changed as a result of it? Each individual has to experience, and there are no words to explain. One has to experience. This is a truth of direct experience. And what I have attained, others should say, what they find in me. If my way of life is good, then yes, this technique is good. This is the real technique of enlightenment. It helps people. If it is not good, then however I talk that Vipassana is very good, it is certainly not good. So it is the way of life of each individual which shows how Vipassana helps in life. If I was sitting and feeling and memories start to emerge, what should I do? Anything arises in the mind, a memory, a emotion, a thought, as for future, of past, anything, whatever arises in the mind, it flows with a sensation on the body. Law of nature is such. Mind and matter are so interrelated. So when an imagination has arisen in the mind, good or bad, whatever it is, you start observing whatever sensation you have on the body. And you observe it objectively, you find that this particular emotion, which has arisen in the mind, cannot overpower you. It becomes feebler and feebler and feebler and passes away. You are free from it. Would I be able to get up and step aside to cry? Or is it to cry and go through the experience while sitting? No, don't cry while you are sitting. Other meditators will get disturbed. If you want to cry, go out in a remote corner somewhere and cry out. Doesn't matter. But when you are crying, don't forget your sensations. I'm crying. There's an emotion. And look, there's a sensation. And I know the sensation is impermanent. It arises to pass away. Let me see how long it lasts. This is impermanent. This emotion is impermanent. Let me see how long they last. And they pass away. They can't overpower you. The whole technique is not to allow these emotions to overpower you. What does a committed relationship mean? You don't run from place to place. This is committed relationship. To reach very high stage of Vipassana, to reach the stage of full enlightenment, natural celibacy is very important. But it must be natural celibacy, not suppressed celibacy. And that comes if you have got relations with only one person. Then slowly, if both are meditators, then you will find that this sex and passion does not overpower you. It becomes less, and easily you come out of it. You don't become you don't remain a slave of it. You come out of it. But suppressed forcefully you want to have celibacy, it is harmful. Giving a free expression to sex is one extreme. Suppressing the sex is another extreme. Enlightened person found out the middle path. Sex arises and you observe your sensation. Sex arises, you observe your sensation. Husband and wife, if both are Vipassana meditators, they will have body relations, but it will become very disciplined, less, and they will come out of it. What is your definition of true love? True love is always one-way traffic. In true love, you don't expect anything in return. True love is free from passion. It is full of compassion. You just give. You just give. Don't expect anything. When you expect something in return, then it's a commercial love, a businessman's love. Commercial love is polluted. Come out of commercial love. Just one-way traffic. Learn how just to give. Sorry. Hmm. Do you experience it with your certainly experience it? And my wife is very happy, I'm very happy. Look, you're smiling. You're quite happy. Why do you separate the sexes? It is a deep operation of the mind, and you've got so much complex. And the biggest complex is the complex of sexual passion. When that starts coming up, it's dangerous. You have to keep people separate. Why does Mrs. Goenka sit with you? Why does she not speak? I have to train her how to speak in English. It's difficult now, at this age. But she sits here to give you good vibration and to give good vibration to me. She sits to my left, and left is left. Good vibration to the heart. How is marriage committing to a partner not a form of craving? Without craving, you can have marriage relations. The more you crave and more you have attachment, then whatever unwanted things happen in the relationship breaks so easily. If it is no craving and yet a relationship is there, that's a sound relationship. So have no attachment and yet live a good life. Detached, enjoy in a detached way. Nothing like that. Oh, good. It is so hard not to react, even if there is no immediate personal pressure or aversion, pleasure or aversion. The world is full of injustice, etc. Quite true. World is full of injustice. But what can you do by this reaction? If you keep your mind balanced and equanimous, then every action that you take will be very forceful, will be effective. But when you are agitated yourself, you cannot help others. A few years back when I was here, there was some movement, agitation for peace. And somebody came to me and said, "You are a Vipassana teacher. Why don't you join this agitation for peace?" Agitation for peace. You agitate yourself and you want peace. How is it possible? You have peace and peace will come. Peace requires peace inside and then there will be peace outside. And you agitate inside, it doesn't work. If you are reacting, then you are spoiling the atmosphere around you. It gets more polluted. If you are not reacting, then you are active and every action is so positive, it is so helpful, so effective. What to tell a friend who is afraid that Vipassana is contrary to his religious beliefs? What religious belief? Any religion, every religion will say you live a life of morality. And Vipassana tells you to live the life of morality. How it gets contradicted by any religion? Every religion says that you remain the master of your own mind, don't become slave of your mind. And Vipassana helps you to become the master of your mind, not the slave of your mind. Every religion says keep your mind pure, keep your heart pure. And Vipassana helps you to purify your mind, your heart. How does it contradict? It doesn't contradict any religion. Of course, it may contradict some blind faith, blind beliefs, blind dogma. That is different. But so far as the essence of religions are concerned, every religion has got the same essence. How does one deal with the doubt that arises? Whenever doubt arises, don't accept the teaching blindly. Leave it aside. A doubt has come. Now let me explore the truth myself. And keep on working, you will find the doubt goes away. Because the truth is the same. The same truth has been experienced by the teacher, same truth is experienced by other students, and the same truth you are going to experience, but you accept only when you experienced it. In the day 8 discourse, you pay a little and dime about arising and passing away. What is this? Oh, poetry. Yes, sometimes I recite it. It is easy enough to be pleasant when the life flows along like a sweet song. But a man worthwhile is a man with a smile when everything goes dead wrong. And how many times in our life everything goes dead wrong? You have to smile. Not smile like an actor or actress, smile inside. How do I stay equanimous with such anxiety and fear in my life? Whenever anxiety comes or fear comes, if you are a good Vipassana meditator, accept the fact fear as fear, abstract fear. Don't go in the details of the object of the fear. Anxiety is anxiety. Don't go in the details of the object of the anxiety and be with the sensations. Just observe sensations, anicca, anicca, changing, arising, passing. You will find you are coming out of your anxiety, you are coming out of your fear. Is Vipassana the only one technique to liberate? What are others? Tibetans, etc. Any technique, you call it Vipassana or anything, which takes you to the depth of the mind and purifies the mind at the root level, is a technique to liberate you. There can be a technique which will purify the surface level of your mind, the conscious mind, the intellect, but it won't reach the depth. If it does not reach the depth, the problem is not solved. You give it any name doesn't matter, but whether the technique takes you to the deepest level of the mind. And whether one has gone to the deepest level of the mind or not is to be judged whether one is working on body sensations or not. Because the deepest mind is in constantly contact with body sensation. As I said, day and night. Nighttime you are in deep sleep. A mosquito has come and bitten you. There is an unpleasant sensation. Your conscious mind does not know, but the unconscious immediately knows there is an unpleasant sensation. It drives away the mosquito or kills the mosquito. Still there is an unpleasant sensation. It scratches. Morning when somebody asks you how many times mosquito has bitten you, you don't know even. Because conscious mind doesn't know. Unconscious keeps on reacting. And that happens even at the awakened level. There's a big barrier between conscious and unconscious. Like if I'm not a Vipassana meditator, I'm talking, my conscious mind is busy talking, now I replied like this, next time I will reply like this, and I will conclude like this. This is all the job of my conscious mind. But the unconscious has nothing to do with that. It will keep on feeling sensations. Because of the weight of this heavy body, some pressure built up here. And this unconscious says, no, I don't like it. And I do a little bit of this. And then pressure here, I do a little bit of this. You just observe somebody for half an hour, you find how many times like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Hey, what's happening? This person doesn't know what's happening and still moving like this. Something is happening. Something is happening. The unconscious mind is reacting. Now Vipassana will take you to the stage where you feel those sensations and yet you don't react blindly. You're aware of it and you're not reacting blindly. If any technique, by any name, takes you to that stage, it's a good technique. It will liberate you. Could it be beneficial to practice Vipassana part of the day and another technique at another part of the day? What technique? It all depends. If it goes totally against Vipassana, if you start chanting some mantra, say for example, every word has its own vibration. Every word has its own vibration. And there are certain words which have got very strong vibrations like om, ain, ring, cling. In India they discovered so many words which have very strong vibration. You keep on repeating, then your entire being, the mind and matter gets engulfed with this created vibration. The imaginary vibration, which is very healthy, it won't allow you any bad vibration to come near you, but it will become a barrier for you to observe your own natural vibration. What happens when you generate anger? What happens when you generate passion, when you generate fear? That is more important for you than just having a shield of these vibrations which are good. Therefore, if you mix up the two, it will be difficult. Anything which takes you away from your natural vibrations of the body, from the unconscious level of your mind, is harmful. How many hours a day should I practice daily after 10 days? Take a 10-day course and you will realize what is necessary for you. Usually we say 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. But now when you hear like this, oh, 2 hours every day, how can I spare 2 hours? So you won't come for 10 days. Come for 10 days and then decide. Okay? Good. Good. Good questions. Are any personality traits like shyness, insecurity, permanent and unchanging despite meditation? If the meditation is good meditation, they can't stay. They all have to go. If one is not practicing meditation properly, then of course they stay. Can fear really be eradicated? Certainly. A Vipassana meditator must become liberated from fear. If the fear is there, one is not liberated. Why did Gautama Buddha find it necessary to leave his wife and children in order to become enlightened. He had to search the path. Now we know the path, so living as a householder's life, you can practice it. He had to sacrifice the pleasure of a householder's life to go and find out the path, which could not be possible for somebody to do as a householder. So he had to go out. But later on, his wife, his son, and all the other members of the family, they got involved in it. And they all got enlightened. How can one write on the hand for his improvement in life and be harmonious and peaceful? The more you work on this technique, it will look hard in the beginning because you are changing the habit pattern. The habit pattern of the mind is so strong. We say from so many lives, one does not believe so many lives, doesn't matter. Even in this life itself, the behavior pattern has been made to react with negativity. To change that, it is hard, it takes time. But as you change it, the fruit starts coming. It becomes easy to live peacefully. Can a committed relationship include relations between people of the same sex? What is this?
Same sex.
Oh. Not very healthy. If you can come out of it, much better. But the main thing is first to learn how to come out of passion. And if you come out of passion, all these problems will get solved. Why worry? Every kind of passion makes you slave of passion. Come out of this slavery. Why do you assume that separation by gender deals with sexual attraction? What about gay people? Passion is passion. It is harmful. Don't never remain a slave of the passion. Whether you are gay or whether you are not gay makes no difference. You have to come out of passion and be your own master. Do you believe in life after death? Mere belief will not help. Practice and then you will understand that there is life. There was life before and there is life afterwards. But mere belief will not help. What happens to the spirit? Get to the stage where you can understand what happens to the spirit. Merely my answer will not help. One has to experience it. When you talk about breaking the law of the universe, why doesn't it include the food one eats? Certainly, that is a very gross level of the universal law. We break any law of the nature starts punishing. What I am talking of the subtler law of the river, of the law of the nature. You break the lower, the deeper level of the mind, you become miserable. Come out of this deeper thing, and all other gross thing also will become automatically all right for you. I am torn between leading a householder's life and practicing Vipassana full time in a more saturated environment. Could you please address this? As I said, a hospital is to gain health, not to live in the hospital for the whole life. You learn the technique here, get established, and then face the world outside. If you want to run away from the realities outside, however hard they are, you can't get established in Vipassana. You have to face the world. If you feel weak, then again come. Again gain some strength, gain good health, again face it. But ultimately, you have to live in the world outside. With the center help, will the center help you help yourself if you are not totally honest? Center will make you honest. You won't remain dishonest. Huh? What is your definition of complete enlightenment? Mere definitions will not help. You have to have it. There are deeper realities which cannot be explained in words. They can only be experienced. The deepest, the highest enlightenment is the experience of the truth beyond mind and matter, beyond the entire field of sensorium, where the sense organs do not work. It is beyond that. And that cannot be explained at the sensual level. It has to be experienced. So experience it, and the question will be answered easily by your own experience.
One more.
One more? Good. Keeps me busy. Is it a natural consequence of meditation that thought ceases? Yes, quite true. Forcefully, if you seize your thoughts, it won't help. Of course, whenever a lot of thoughts are coming, your mind is agitated, and if there's no thoughts, naturally you feel more peaceful. But forcefully you suppress your thoughts, you will feel peaceful for some time, but that will be only at the surface level of your mind. But this ceasing of the thought comes at a later stage when the impurities have gone away. The thoughts are always related with some impurity or the other, craving or aversion or fear, etc. When all those go away, the thoughts are no more there. And that peace that you will experience will be a much deeper peace. Experience it. And Vipassana will help you to experience it.
Once again, we want to thank you for coming and remind you that there are refreshments up in the main building.